Okay, so it's 10 to 4, and I did not wanna wake up this morning. Well, we were up in the middle of the night, last night was another weird fucking night. The night before, so when I heard that hollering, where I said, "What was that?" Um, when I got done, I kept hearing stuff, so I opened the door to listen, and it was weird because there was so much I don't like, there's something so weird outside, I don't even know. Like, I like being in my little safe bubble, but, it's the way that the sound is moving and energy and stuff, it's like, "Oh, man." Um, so it sounded like there was this whining or something coming out of the forest, and which keeps being super eerie because I keep hearing, like, "Oh, damn," the other night when Stella went out in the middle of the night, I went out there and I was standing, and it sounded like, oh, the cries of some kind of dying wolf or so oh, it was horrible sounding, and, I was like, it could be a dog in someone's yard, this sound and everything is carrying weird, and it was just so haunting, and it was so like, "Ooh," it was really ooh, it was eerie, and then the sounds keep traveling like that where I keep being like, "Man, is there like a bunch of dog like, what in the world is going on?" It's really creepy, even in the daytime. But so I could hear that there was some sound where I could hear laughing and stuff. And I think that is what I heard because I think that is the house. It's a couple over there. And I don't know if it's I don't think it's an Airbnb. I think these people live there, but maybe they have people that come visit them sometimes and then they stay up all night. Like they also had gotten in that big fight one morning where it was all out the couple had their whole fight outside, like, one of them like, the stuff they were saying, I was like, "Fuck, this is crazy." Um, so, oh, that was a long while ago, but every time that I've ever, had them come in, because the other day I was walking in a whole new house, a whole new person all of a sudden came into my awareness where I was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen that house." I've never seen the person, but it was the person being outside and being, "Hey," is what caught my eyes. It was like I was walking down the street and I could see this really tall guy with long gray hair, and, it was shoulder length, it wasn't super long, but, so I was like, "Oh, that's weird, I've never seen a guy, like, around here that looked like that guy," and, so I was just, like, watching him as we were walking up and watching what he was doing, he was messing around, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I've never even seen that house." I go and it was like, "Oh my god, it's life is so much about what you pay attention to, and how things just all of a sudden, 'Oh my god, I've never seen that before.'" Because that happened also, and I still don't know if they cleared a tree or whatever, but all of a sudden, there was this house popped up in the back of my thing, and it was like, I have never seen that before, but it was that A-frame, so I don't know if it's just him giving it life all of a sudden, like, it's weird because the people who lived there before, they were dark, man. But this guy, he's just full of life and excitement and stuff, and, both these guys who are working on their places, there's no worker people out here. He has run into so many problems. He wanted to be living in his house now, and it's still an empty shell. He had to gut it and build on all this stuff. And, so anyways, he's I think he's trying to live in his camper. He has, like, so much stuff. He has, like, a Tesla, he has some kind of little sport boat, he has a camper, he has a Jeep, he has a truck. He's got a lot of stuff. And, so he's not hurting for money, but it's like the guys who have certain, abilities, they can set the calendars, man. They're in demand. It all depends on what you're famous for, I'll tell you that, because, yeah, I mean, out here where people are looking for workers, and those guys can go and take what jobs they want, and it's been a thing out here since, um, I came out here. I mean, because I started needing to do work out here. That's why I started being like, well, I'm going to talk to my son-in-law. If I'm going to pay somebody to do this stuff, I'd rather pay somebody who I know. And, oh, which, by the way, he's coming Friday. He just all of a sudden messaged me yesterday. I'm going to be there Friday. I was like, oh, away. Like, it's really bad weather. I don't think we can do anything, but you can come. We can go and like try and make our plan, because I was, trying to figure out where I'm going to store this stuff for winter. And I did ask him about the metal roof, and he said a metal roof costs more. You have to put on extra stuff and everything because it heats up. But he said, but it's good. He said it'll last long, which is a main thing out here with the wetness. So as soon as he's going to be here, I may go in that direction. I may go like, let's just do metal then, because both of these roofs, I would want to change the one on my house too. It's mush. The one on my gazebo is mush, or my outdoor kitchen or whatever. So I have 3 roofed buildings, and the one, he was the one who found it. I had no idea. And he went up there, and it was, he's like, your roof is bad. There's a hole. It's going, and there's squirrels living. So anyways, that's why it's all tarped up and stuff, trying to make it. So anyways, and I was like, man, the weather is just too bad. It's too wet for us to take all that stuff off. The wood would not dry. That's a thing. And I've been watching that on, like these inspector videos and stuff, complaining about, and these people talking about the shoddy houses being built, and it's being done right over here, and that they do them, and then the wood gets really wet during the winter, and then they just close it all in, and then the house doesn't ever dry out. And that's why so many people are having black mold and all this stuff in their houses, especially new houses. It's because of how they're building them. And it's very different when we're building something for ourselves. These people are just slapping shit together. What was this one? I don't know if it was an Airbnb or what, a rental, but these places, these people were staying, it was just like the sink fell through. Everything was like falling. Everything they touched, everything was like all for looks. And that's what they've turned everything into. Everything is so superficial, and what we've allowed it. See, we've been sucked that direction. And we were sucked that direction so far, but now it's like release. And, oh, this is the thing that just has got me so bewildered. I've already been fucking, like, I haven't watched TikTok yet. I was making my tea, letting the dogs out, and doing that business. And so I hadn't watched them, but I was up at midnight. Oh, yeah, I didn't even finish about the whole drama the other night. So there was a party going on at these people's house. And I heard that, but then when I went and I was hearing more, then all of a sudden I was hearing from another side. It's like you could pick it up. Like, I feel like that this sound is coming from over there. And then it was, I heard more sound. So I opened the door, and then I thought it was hard to hear where the sound was coming from. But I knew it was coming from over in this direction. But there was a few minutes I thought it was coming from this way, but I think it was the sounds all playing off of each other or something. It was like really weird. And so I was standing out there trying to hear, and there was a guy out there going crazy, and he was going fucking mental. He was yelling and saying just weird stuff, and it's pouring rain. It's freezing cold, and he's just out there. Then I hear the neighbor across the street, and he's this old biker guy. Like, I don't know, like, what kind of biker he ever was. Like, if he just is a guy who just likes to ride Harleys or whatever. I think he's an older biker guy, but like, those guys are not gonna fuck around. Like, they're not gonna play games with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not somebody you'd want to mess with, I would think. But this guy, he doesn't know, but it's just like, whoa, of all the houses to pick. Like, I don't know. Yeah, then you start thinking through the houses of like, oh, if you went that one, what would happen? It's like, it's pretty random. I'm glad you didn't pick mine. And that's the nice thing about mine. Looks kind of spooky because I have a long, dark driveway with the trees, and I have a gate at the end. So you have to open the gate. And then most people know I have a really big dog. Because that one night where she went out and went crazy, and in the middle of the night went out and started barking, and she was going crazy in the yard. There was a couple of times. One, and I found out there was a mountain lion out there. And then the other one was when I found that bully stick thing at the end of my driveway, which, that's creepy when you think about it too. A weapon. I have it as a weapon of my own now, but it was just laying in my driveway at the end in the morning. And I picked it up, I showed the neighbor, I was like, what is this thing? What would this be? And it's like my one neighbor, she's English, and her dad was a cop. And so she knew it was like a bully stick thing that it looks like one stick, but then you do this and it pops out a whole bunch of them and it's all linked. And so you can have like a shorter weapon and it turns into a longer one and it's all metal and comes out. Mine is like lost. It's not really slick. You know, it's like older or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. They're going to use it. Like, I swear to God, we've all been eaten. We've all been bludgeoned. We've all, like, there's certain things where it's just like you think of it. Somebody come in, it's like, oh God, not that again. So, there was something about reincarnation or about death the other day that had popped up that was giving me a different or a view of that thing of and maybe it was this one because it was a guy who, oh yeah, it was this guy who survived being eaten by a hippo. And oh man, and I heard one yesterday of a guy who got eaten by a shark. Like, fuck, man. It was so goddamn gruesome, right in front of his friends and shit. Ugh, it was horrible. And this one was a hippo, and it was a canoe trip, and they came across all these hippos, and hippos are a fucking bitch. I didn't know that Stella was a hippo before. I don't know. There's sometimes I'll just see her doing stuff, and she moves like one and acts like one, and I'm like, oh, that's why I'm like, I know she's been in a lot of predators in her her incarnations or whatever, how she's learning, you know, about stuff. That's why I think like she's had so much with arthritis and stuff. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But anyways, so this guy was talking about it was so violent and so brutal. And this big giant thing got him 3 different times, and he could fit, like, he would came up one time, took him up to like here in his mouth. So he was inside the hippo's mouth. That's how big they fucking are, all the way down. And the guy's thrashing him around trying to open his mouth. They're like kind of like alligators when they do it, and smashing through. So he's getting these big giant teeth smashing through his chest. And then one of the times, the first time he got taken, he was reaching out to help somebody else to get them away from the hippos. And this hippo just came barreling out and just jumps up like alligator and swallows him down where just his legs are sticking out. And at that one, he didn't know for sure what was going on. He had no idea. He was just all of a sudden in this dark place and he couldn't figure out, and he could feel pain back in his back or his legs or something. He couldn't figure out. Then they call it a bull hippo. It's a big giant male or something, and it spits him out. And he lands back, and then the thing just resets. And that's when it comes and it gets him from the other side. And then he's thrashing around and biting down on his chest. And then, however, he let go of him again and threw him again. And this is all, like, all of his friends and all these canoes and stuff are all seeing that this is all happening with all these people. And it's like one of those things where I've gone on these kinds of things, these little boating things, but I don't think in super dangerous places. But, you know, I mean, there's, I don't know where this was. It could have been the Congo or something. And they went on this adventure to go on these canoes, to go paddle down this river or something. And I think he's one of the guides, though. I don't think he was he was a guy who does this, you know, all the time. And because he was going back to try and save people. And so then it, when it threw him that time, it came up from the side. And so this time it bit him like in half. It shredded or tore off one of his arms. And so then he had his head, it was sticking out one side of the mouth and his feet out of the other. And so now he's chomped down like that. And he's shredded. There's blood everywhere. And the guy said, you know, because he's alive, he's conscious through all this. And he's thinking, you know, he talks about what he was thinking about. And he kept thinking, I'm about to die. And he could see all the blood. And then the thing dove And that's also what the gators do too. I think sharks too. Yeah, because the shark did that to that guy too. That take them and then they dive down. And that, I think kills us. It probably gets water in our nose and our lungs real quick or something. It's probably good that they do that. But this didn't kill this guy. He went down and whatever happened, I don't know for sure. Oh, I think it was because so he thought this is his process. He said, I thought I was about to die. And all of a sudden I thought, I don't want to die. And he felt this, like, it's up to you. You can die or you can not die. It's up to you. And he said consciously thought, I don't want to die. And all of a sudden it's like the thing released him and he popped up to the top of the water. But he said it was like instantaneously, as soon as he said, I want to survive, he could feel all the pain in his body. He said he could feel nothing before that. He couldn't feel anything. He just was aware of what was happening, but he didn't feel anything until he said, yes, I want to live. And I've said that before in other ones, because there was another one, it was a car wreck one or something, and the guy had said something like that, not exactly like that, but it was the same thing where he had no awareness of anything hurting until all of a sudden when he said that he wanted to live. And then once you say, yes, I want to live, then you're ready for the experience again. And the experience has pain and hardship. And so you have to go through the pain, but the pain is not real. It's what the suit gives you the experience of. It's like putting the goggles back on to experience that. And so but so we have an awareness, is what I'm saying, of different ways that we've died. But when we watch and we think like, oh my God, this is so horrible, this person went through all this, that is the thing, is like when they're going through it, like I've said, that they don't, it is different. Even when my friend who was in the river thing after her wreck, and she was down there or whatever for 5 days or something, and nobody had found her, and she's like in the creek and the broken and all that stuff. And she said that she was not there. She was interacting, like there was different beings that were coming and talking to her. They were bringing her thing, like it was a whole thing, because you go into this other state of consciousness and you go into that where you're interacting with them and they're there for you and stuff like that. So it pulls you out of the game. So you don't go through all that. But then when you get pulled back in, like, hey, you okay? And you get pulled back in, then you get pulled back into the pain. And a lot of people, they don't like get choices, because there's so many people who have NDEs and they said they begged to stay. They begged. But that is because you have these contracts, these transits or whatever, these because these are it's like the creation of the design. It's like the patterns are built by us being in these little things. It's like it creates it is like the web, the fiber of the universe. It's like energetic, but yeah, energy slow. So the slower you go with energy, the more you can see the pattern. So, and that is here we're even developing patterns, like we're creating situations and stuff. It's very trippy. Like it's really trippy. It is like very trippy how the development of lives and experience is the fiber of the universe and its knowledge, you know. It's like we give the brain its thoughts. That's why I say it's like we're the synapse of the mind. We're the spark that gives it life. So anyways, we have a very important role in the universe. We're all important. There's nobody that is not important. So, but last night there was another weird thing. Hold on, because my tea's already angled. I drank half of it. So the, last night. So the night before, when the guy was out there yelling and stuff, and so I kept going and I was getting little videos because it was like, see, I did hear something. So then I wanted to, I don't know, get proof. And so, but it was weird to watch because like the guy's in this guy's house and this guy's coming out yelling, get out of my yard or get out of here, go home. And the guy keeps arguing with him and saying weird shit and just talking crazy nonsense. And the guy keeps telling him, go home, go home, go home. And get out of here and get off my yard and stuff like that. And so then by the time, this was going on and on and on. And then by the time the guy finally gets up and starts going, he walks down the street and it's right under the light thing. So the street's really dark, but right there, I think it's the people who, I think they have a couple of lots. They have this really big house that sits back, and I think they're probably one of the first houses out here. And I think that's a light that they put down or something. I don't know, but there's a light right there because our whole neighborhood isn't all lit up. And so that, but I don't know, there's probably a couple around. But anyways, this one is right there, and the guy comes right out under it. So it was like he was under a spotlight. And it was weird because I was videoing it, but I couldn't show it. It was weird. But anyways, I could see it, and I could see then he had no jacket on or anything. But I didn't realize it at first because I ended up calling 911 because he's just out there and he's just talking crazy, and he's just like spinning around in circles and walking and doing all this crazy stuff and falls down. I was like, this guy needs help. Like, this guy, like, it's fucking raining and like, this is crazy. And I had no idea who he was or anything. And then, so I called 911 and tell them, and they asked me those questions. And that's where she's like, what do you have on? And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's a hoodie or something. And, I mean, it was just so regular. But then when I saw him again, I was like, oh my God, he's got a t-shirt on. Because see, she drew my attention to what he had on. And then, so then I could see he had a t-shirt on, and I was like, God, it's so cold out. And, so then it took a long time for the cops to get here. And then they finally got here. And then, so I went out there and I was watching that, and the cops were being real super quiet and just telling me, you got to go and stuff like that. He was still being super loud. And I saw him out walking around with flashlights looking for him and stuff. So I don't know, he must have been laying somewhere again. Maybe he was hiding, but they caught him. And so then he starts fighting him. He's fighting him, and he's just like, he keeps telling them they're fuckers and motherfuckers and just carrying on. They get him in the back of one of the cars, and then he is like having this total fit. I just want to go home. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I just want to go home. I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. And then I'm like, and then I don't know what happened, if he broke free or whatever. And so then he starts going up in this other neighbor. So then they start following him. And then I don't know if they said, okay, go home, go home. And then he started walking, and he just went to this other neighbor's, and then they saw this isn't his home either. Because to me, when I was watching, I couldn't see what all, and I was like, what the hell is that guy? Why would that guy be out here being all wasted and going to that guy? Like, and besides the fact that I don't think they get along. And I was like, that is so, oh my God. But then I was feeling so bad, like, oh my gosh, have I got that guy in trouble? And then I just felt bad for this guy because he was so upset. And then they drag him back and they take him into another car, and it seemed like they were handcuffing him. And so then they got him into another car, and it was the same whole thing again. Him begging and crying, I just want to go home. I did nothing wrong. You motherfuckers. I fucking you. Fuck you, you motherfuckers. It just kept going. Just on repeat. And so then finally, they load him up and they take off. And so then I asked the neighbor, well, I didn't ask her right then. And then she didn't answer me for a long time. So I didn't know until much later in the afternoon. And she said that, so this guy shows up and is out sleeping in their garage or something. And and their daughter had seen him or something, and then so they were just trying to keep an eye on him, but then he started, I don't know, getting up and doing stuff, because then he started, like, he was laying out in the thing, just screaming and yelling crazy talk for so long, but way before anybody ever talked to him, because I was hearing noise. It was a half hour. I looked at the thing. I think it was a half hour before. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to be more accurate probably, because I'm bad on numbers. Um, However long it was, because it was at 1:18 or something, I think is when I said the timestamp of when I heard the noise. And then I think it went to like 1:42. And then, so he was out there yelling. But I don't know if it was as consistent, because it seemed like I thought he was walking down the street and then went to their house. But she said no, he was asleep in their barn or garage or something. And they had just left him, but they were keeping an eye on him or something. But then he went out and started doing all that. And she had to go to work in the morning, so she needed to try and get sleep. But so they were out there messing with it. And so what she said, what they told her, the cops said, is that this wasn't their first go around with this guy, and he keeps getting super drunk. Well, you would think it's got to be more than just drunk, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen people be able to put down a lot of alcohol and stay up. So so anyways, they just took him home. So just took him home, which I was like, oh, see, that's what we need, more of that kind of community. Oh, the drunk guy, go get him, take him home. And but then it was like, well, why were they, like, I'm not sure. But anyway, so she said that they went and just took him home. They didn't arrest him. And but this wasn't, he's, I don't know, developing a pattern of this or something. But this is also where you know, people in not a good state like that, who don't know where they're at, because he had no idea where he was at. He didn't know where he lived or anything. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, because that is, see, because that is what my son-in-law did when he had that mental break thing. And he was going in people's houses. He was like, he thought he was at his own house, and he was going in people's houses. And that is where, fuck, man, there's people who don't even open the door, and they're just going like right through it. It's like, it's dangerous out there. This isn't like community. We're all pined against one another. And it's, you know, I've given all these flashes of all these different videos of all these people arguing with neighbors and all these Karens and all these videos. Like, there's so many. Our communities are so fractured. And then this day, today is really going to show too, man. And that's what I want to talk a lot about. But so anyways, so that night was weird, and it went on. I was stayed up watching that for a long time. I don't know. I think I went back to sleep like around 7 or something, 7 in the morning. I think I went back to sleep till like 8:30 or something. But last night, so I was totally conked out, but it's weird because I feel like I'm in this, I don't know. It's like a state of mind where I'm like talking to myself, which is like talking to your higher self or something. So it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I kind of seems like to me, the dreams are communication, but it's when you change your communication, you don't dream the same. It's like, it's not like you're going to be shown things in, it's like you just go and start talking or something. I can't, because it's been like a couple of years that it's been like this, where it's just like I'm talking and stuff. It's not like going in dreams like before when I was younger. It's just so weird because it's definitely in a different state. It's like being in a dream or something, but it's different. So anyways, dreaming or sleeping is just weird. And but I was I felt like I was really asleep, but I felt like I was also talking. So I felt very aware, but I felt like I was really out. And all of a sudden, the screen door, my screen door is this big metal heavy door. And all of a sudden, it just swung open and crashed. And it made this loud noise. And the dogs all jumped up and started barking. And of course, I sit up. It's like, and I saw that there was no light outside. So I knew that there was no motion. So I started trying to listen if the trees were blowing and thinking it was the wind. And Stella's at the door. She's ready to take them on. She's ready to go. And Archie, he is such a mini her. It is so funny. He really looks at her like he's so full of himself. Like, this guy is such a character. They're all such characters. Like, it cracked me up. Archie is something. He gets so like, Max is, he'll bark, but he'll sit here like, bark, bark, bark. But he's got such anxiety, but he's very much this, I don't know, a tactile or something. Like, even like the sweater, how it calms him down. But he wants to go out and rub on all the plants. Like, everything we pass, he has to rub it. He has to see what it feels like. And so he's super passive, super submissive, super chill, but he likes to play. He likes to play, most of their games are aggressive, tug of war, take the toy from each other, see who's the fastest. Archie is just a bitch about everything. God, he's such a bitch about everything. And he jumps up and he's like, rawr, he's ready to take on whoever too. I was like, man, if I was a break in here, I would not want to mess with Stella and Archie. Stella would be going down here and Archie would jump like fucking Chucky. Rawr. Oh my God. That dog's a maniac and he jumps like crazy. And he's very vocal. Like, that dog is something else, but he's a little intense. So, so anyways, Stella's ready to take him on. And so I'm trying to evaluate the situation because I'm thinking, fuck, do I have something on my goddamn porch? And so I'm trying to, like, and I'm telling them, shh, let's listen. And so I was trying to hear if I heard any noise, any kind of creaking or anything, any kind of, because I can hear or feel when Stella's walking by the house and when she's coming up to the stairs and stuff. Like, I can feel it. And so then I can go to the door, let her. It's all harder with these little guys, but I can still, but I got to tune in a lot more. And so anyways, but I keep the door open a lot because then it lets the smoke out, and especially when I have a fire. And I like the way it makes the house warm, but then that lets in the fresh air. And so I just like it better than the heater. I don't know. The whole heater system thing is, I think, awkward and strange. And if you let your door open, it just blows the air right on you. It doesn't really heat up the room. It just blows hot air out. Like, when you have a fire, it really heats up the room. It really makes everything just warm and cozy. So it's just different. It's like the fake and the artificial. Always at battle, and I always go with the natural. It's always like, oh, I like this better. This other, I don't know, just doesn't feel so good. Because even, like, I don't like air conditioning. Ugh, I hate air conditioning. So many people, like, you can't live without it. And it's like, oh, it's so fake feeling to me. I cannot stand it. I mean, I'll be driving in my car, it'll be boiling hot. Like, it takes a lot for me to put on an air conditioner. And they've been really hitting us hard with these intense temperatures and stuff. So, but I know I've turned it on some because Stella, she can't. She gets so hot. And when we were traveling around, especially when we were going and we were driving, it was over 100. So, okay. So then the door swings and the dogs are going crazy. And I'm like, fuck. Like, and I had no idea what time it was. So I got up and I still see no light movement coming on. And I don't hear anything. I don't feel a presence. I don't know what it is. How it is that, but I started being able to notice that, how it was like you could start feeling your environment or something. Kind of reminds me of, like, when I was a kid. And then back then there was cowboy and Indian movies and stuff were popular. And I was always into the Indians because I was, well, I have a, a draw. There's a facet of me that is from that. And so and it reminds me so much of like, you know, a ranger or one of the guys who would be taking the people and how he would be able to stand and I don't know, it's like listen or pick up on the environment. Even in World War II, they were using the guys, the native guys to take them and stuff because of it being able to feel into their environment or something. You'd have to look at the history now to really see like exactly why were they, but they all had braids. Then when they made them cut them off, then the guys couldn't do it anymore. And so that it's a whole thing about it. It's interesting. But anyways, you know, and I'm sure it has to do too with my hair and the health of my hair. And but I started being able to feel into my environment and tune into a sense. So if I could hear something, I could decipher it. I could pull it out and focus on that sound and separate it from the other sounds and focus in on it and see what it was or something. And so, you know, and I'm sure there's people who can do that real easy and it may be challenging to me and it's easy for them, but then there's other people who it is challenging for. And so, you know, you can do that. It takes just like a focus. You just take your mind and you just keep pinpointing it towards, yeah, that's weird because I said that about the dreams where they try and get your attention to get you to focus on them because it pulls your attention towards them because that's what becomes your reality. That is how they can suck you into a different reality. But it's trippy because it's like that movie Insidious when they, there's some truth stuff in that. Like the kid is pulled into, you know, how all the spirits are holding him because they want to feed off of his energy. So they're holding him and he can't get back into his body and his body is like comatose. So it's kind of like that kind of thing. So they pull you into a different reality and hold you there. But it's like once you can see your own power and shift yourself out of there. But like in that one, he was so surrounded. That is why there's so many different things I've said about this stuff, about the dark energy, these other realms and stuff. You know, so there's that all that stuff is real. It feels like there's a hair in my tooth. Like while I'm talking, a hair just flew up in my tooth. Oh, it was like, oh, what the hell? Weird as shit, man. Swear to God. So anyways, just kept going and going and going and still would not stop. So eventually I went and I opened the door and let her go out. I told them all they had to be quiet though. But it was only 10:30 at night. So it was only 10:30. It wasn't like the middle of the night, but we had already been asleep. I think we went to sleep because it's getting dark earlier now, which people are like, what the fuck? How is it all of a sudden so much, 1 hour made that much difference in the light? And people are all like, oh, bullshit. Man, it's something weird. I don't know if it's like there's a natural cycle that occurs and then they are trying to put it off to keep us out of our cycle. And so it makes it more dramatic. There's something weird about it. And I know too, because Donald has brought it up so many times. So it's just more of the manipulation to keep us out of sync with the planet, I think. So, but we're going to go into this other, you know, period of time where we're going to go more in sync. So anyway, she went out and she patrolled and didn't find anything and came back in and I made sure and shut the door really hard. And I got my fire going again. And so then we all laid down and got all cozy and everybody starts relaxing and all of a sudden the power goes out and then it comes back on and I was like, it's going back out. And then went back out. And so then it was out for a long time. Stella was crying because it is pitch black. And it was really weird about it. I just kept being, this is the weirdest thing about this, is nobody's generator came on. There's generators that just, the one behind me, his comes on automatically because that guy had health issues. And so his generator, as soon as the power goes out, his generator comes on. You can hook them up like that. It can cost money, you know, obviously to do it. You have to hook it up different. But his didn't come on. And then I could see it was black out everywhere, except for these solar lights. This girl over here, I think that's all solar power. 'Cause everything was out except for these bright ass fucking lights that were out there, a string of lights, you know? And so, then the power went out and then it was just out. So then, I was thinking through my stuff, okay, so I got this, I got, 'cause yesterday I went out and got ready because of all of the talk, especially because they were saying they've got the National Guard here and they're expecting all this stuff. And I would think Bellingham can be too because it's a college town. And that's the closest one to me. And that's where they already have the mudslide and stuff. So shit's gonna for sure be going down in these places. In Seattle. And there was some big concert under the bridge that I kept seeing videos of. What is today? Tuesday. Super Tuesday. I think it was Saturday. There was this big party concert, something under this bridge. And I kept seeing this footage. There was so many people. And I was like, this is what they want to get all these kids out there and get a big riot going, see? And so, so when I was looking at that crowd, I was like, fuck, this is the people they want to mind control. And anyways, and then, you know, it's all these days, but there's all this constant drama going on and keeping people on the edge. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, some places could have martial law and some other places maybe don't. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. And they already were having ballot boxes being blown up here all over the place. And so I don't know what drama they've got, you know, I'm ready to set off over here. So anyways, I went out and I got stuff to make sure that we would be okay. And I went and got water and stuff. And so I feel like, you know, we'll be fine. Unless they take our house away. They hit us with a storm. Then we have a whole new situation to figure out. And then it's, you know, I don't know what's going to go down this week if my son-in-law really will be able to come. I don't know if, you know, there will be like some going to shut down. They're going to say it's too out of control there. We've got to shut down this. Oh, which I saw a video that explained about the roads that I thought was interesting because 90 is up here. And that's the one where you have to travel, interstate travel across to go across Washington State. Well, it goes all the way across. And then it goes down. So if you start up here and you have the 90 going across, and so those ones will end at a 0. They're 2 letters or 2 numbers, and they all end at 0. And then you have the 80. There's no, maybe there's 2 of them that are missing. I think it's the 60 and the 50 or something. But so it's like it goes like the 90, the 80, the 70, the 40, the 20, no, the 30, the 20, and then the 10. And they all go all the way across. And so when you are, you know, if you're out there and you're trying to find your way to where you're going. So that's how the interstates go. And it's like a grid system. Then the ones that are 3 numbers, those are like the state highways. And those are the ones that I try. And those will have 3 numbers. And I think they have a 0 at the end too. And those ones, I don't think they were talking about that in this video. Is in this when they were talking about, so that's also how you can kind of register where you are. Is like, so the 90 is up way high in the north. And then the mid numbers are, you're going through the middle. Then when you get down low, you're way down south. And so that is how you can find your way going across. And then the ones going down, it is, there was a thing about those, but what was it? Because the 5, I think it is that they are 1 number or something. And then the other ones are 2 number. And then the state highways are 3 number. And so if you run across the interstate and you're like, well, where's that one going? And it's a 1 number that's like it's going down because they have a grid system that they go across. And it is all numbered. And it's weird because, I mean, maybe there's some people who are really into maps and stuff and look at that. I think that I've looked at a lot of maps and atlases and stuff, and I've never even registered that about how the freeways and stuff go and the interstates and stuff. So anyways, I think, you know, if navigation goes down and you're having to evacuate, some of that stuff is important to know, to how to navigate the where you're going and stuff, because then you're on your own. And we just have no idea what's about to go down. And this is what is just, I just am so tripped out by these people. And there's more people now. There's way more people than me doing videos that are just like, what in the hell with these people? It's creepy. It is so creepy. And it is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's such altered reality. They are living in this completely altered reality. And it is so another counselor, another fucking counselor. And what was she saying? I think she was talking about how the MAGA cult will be studied, because in how this is going to just, when we lose so hard today, it's just going to devastate. All of the MAGAs are going to be so devastated from their huge loss that's about to go down because, kicking their ass. This one guy said he has been watching videos all day long where they're already celebrating her win because on their media, they're saying this certain stuff. And I think I think when I hear that they're saying this stuff on their media, there's a few different things playing out because his side is definitely getting to show the cheating, but the other side is getting to understand like the media influence and the misdirection and stuff like that. But they got to go through that thing. But I think with one of the levels is the setup of trying to be like, oh, see, we were winning, so he cheated. These people are crazy. See, they're dictators. So, they're trying to feed everybody. There's all these different stories. So there's different things, so we're going to see a lot of different things play out through this. And I don't know what today is going to be like. I'm imagining, because there's already been violence at some of these places and stuff. And so I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of violence. And don't forget their instigators are out there trying to set shit off all over the place. And, they've got people from other places being paid to cause problems. And so there's going to be problems being caused. And they got to get paid, man. So money is a priority here. And so we're going to have people out there causing problems. And they've got no problems, taking cars and slamming them into people and, walking off. So it can be anything. You gotta be prepared for anything. They walk up and punch people. They walk up and stick people with sharp things. They walk up with these things. They walk up with bricks. They walk up with axes. Like it's all on the table at this point. Everybody's getting everything happening. And there was another another strange death at work, which they're saying now that one was murder. They were investigating the girl's boyfriend and her friend at work. So her best friend and her boyfriend, what a way to, what? Why would you even come up with that as a way? I think there was probably maybe a fight and then, I don't know. Like, I don't know. People that is so weird. So I don't know, but this guy, he's like trying to start his own business or something, doing asphalt or something, and has some rinky-dink truck or something that isn't working right or something. And then he's trying to hook it up, do something, and his truck decides to dump all the asphalt on top of him. And he was trying to get out of it, but it killed him. So, and he was only 41, and the witnesses saw him trying to get free from it, but yeah, the weight of it, oh my God, and the hotness, like, oh my Jesus Christ. That's one of those things where you got to be like, okay, he wasn't feeling any of that. Wasn't feeling it. It wasn't, that was just a horrific storyline, but he didn't have to feel all of that stuff. Just like the guy who was in the hippo, he wasn't feeling everything. He had awareness of it, but he wasn't feeling it. So it was very different, he said. He said when the pain came into his body, he was like, oh, fuck, did I make a regret? Like, it was like instant, like, oh, shit. He said he had never felt so much pain in all his life. And then right away he was rescued. They got him off the thing. I mean, everything just started going boom, boom, boom as soon as he made that a choice. But see, that's his storyline. That was, what he had to face, whatever it was. He had to face it, to get over it, to go in that direction. And, I just know this because, getting the brain injury and stuff. Then it was like, I mean, for so long, it was just like, another way. Life's trying to fuck me. And then when all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, this was to get me to go in a different direction. It was get me to heal, to grow. Oh, okay. And then you stop fighting what is happening to you. But you got to go through whatever you got to go through. You got to go through it. Those are your steps. And that's, the steps are what's important. That's where you have your learning and stuff. So, and that's why you can't just teach somebody something who's not ready to learn it. That's why we can't get through to these people. That's why I've seen so many videos trying to talk to these people rationally about women's rights and the way they're being manipulated in this and deceived. And they can't hear it. Like, those of us who know, we can hear it loud and clear. But these people, they can't hear it. And then and this other one too that I saw, and this lady, I think she was a counselor too. What was she? She was something popping off with her fucking degree bullshit. I don't remember what her shit was. Oh, she's an expert on cults. That's what hers was. She's an expert on cults. She was explaining the whole thing about cults and stuff and why this is going to be so crazy. What is about to happen is the MAGA cult comes into, I'm not sure how this plays out to them. Like, I'm really not sure. Like, where do they think, like, all of a sudden, he would not get in, and then all of a sudden we would all come out of our cult and be like, oh my God, all of a sudden now we're out of our cult. It's like, have you been here for the last 4 years? What the fuck with these people? Like, it's creepy, man. Where you been? Where you been? There's been a lot going on in the last 4 years. You missed out on a lot of bullshit. It's like, fuck, dude. And so she's explaining all that. I couldn't even fucking listen. It was so absurd. I mean, this is all serious. These are fucking professional people out here doing these videos. Counselors and everything about this. How the MAG cult is about to all of a sudden realize we're all about to realize we're a cult. It's like, God life's about to flip some shit upside down. Like, what? This is about to get so crazy. I can't even. Like, this is so weird because it's like lock and load, dude. Like, where I was saying they're locking in their answers, locking in their answers. Like, they are fucking fully loaded. Like, this is crazy. Like, oh my God, when you're taking your trip to Crazy Town, you packed a big fucking trunk, I'll tell you that. What the hell are these people got? Like, I don't even know. Like, I would think that there's going to be a deficit on social media. These people are not going to be playing this out publicly. When they're coming at it with their hate, they're going to play that out publicly. They're going to go into a cocoon when this shit goes down. They are going to be like, do not touch me. Do not talk to me. Like, they are going to be so thrown. Because like Crystal said, like, I've had that same thing as like, what if we're the crazy ones? But then all you got to do is look at it. It's like, oh, but they're not seeing this. We're seeing this full picture. We're making our choices, our thought. We're having a broader awareness that we are deciphering. They have a limited awareness. And that is the thing. It's going to all of a sudden pop off. It is like, walking down the street and all of a sudden you see this gray-haired guy and you're like, huh, who's that? And you keep watching and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, have I ever seen that? I've never seen this house. I've never seen this, but like, this is so weird. Is this a new person in this world? Like, it's so weird. I'm sure he's always been living there and living his life. I bet I never saw him carrying his groceries. So anyways, that was trippy, but that is what is going to be happening on a huge scale. It's like all, they're all focused right here, and all of a sudden it's like the world falls out from under you, and all of a sudden that picture that you're staring at is only a speck in a giant picture, and you didn't see the whole picture. And that is where it's like all of a sudden it's going to be like they're in the lion's mouth. It's going to be like it's coming out. It's going to be like the hippos fucking engulfing you. And it is going to be intense. I cannot imagine the way that these people, the stuff that they have said is like ultra humiliation. So I can't imagine. I think there is going to be that will be a significant impact, I think, on social media, because so many people will have to go internal. They'll have to go into their headspace to try and make sense and try and understand. And it's going to be it's so difficult. It's so weird to watch them all talk about cults and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's good. You better listen to them because it's about to happen to you. You're about to understand that you are in a cult because you are thinking, you're being led in your thinking. And it's so weird having them try and explain it, how this is going, when they have no awareness that it's happening to them, that they're the ones it's happening to. This is, man, consciousness is a trip. And you can see why they've made it their fucking life challenge to fucking entertain our consciousness to keep control of it. And you can see how it works, man. And these people are, exhibit A. And so this is about to play out. And I can't see how, I mean, I don't know how today will go. I don't know. I would say it's got to have, however it goes, it's got to be whatever the computer has decided is the best way. Because to me, at this point, we are allowing these people to live in an illusion and a delusion. Like something's got to put a halt to it. They've got to see that they are living in this weird fantasy world, and that they are in such a dark, like they're so fucking hateful and so bitter, and what this blue section is doing to them and their psyche. And so I think, but it's not up to me. The universe is, it's the way it moves and shifts is the way it's supposed to move and shift. Like this is all there's a bigger force in control, and it's not just the white hats. And that I know, if you ever want to doubt the universe's abilities, just go do something that you need them to do for you. And you'll see. You can throw some. Like sometimes when I was out there trying to throw that thing over the barn, I'm throwing it, and then it's all of a sudden I'll be like, oh my God, I'm wearing myself out. Okay, guys, please take it for me. Take it. And when the universe will step in and see, this is where the ones that, to refrain from trying to control the energy and to get in sync with the energy, but not trying to control it. I'm asking for help. I'm not going in and doing some brews and throwing some shit and demanding it and calling in the ones to be over it and all of that stuff. So it's just, changes and realization, giving gratitude, and realize there's a bigger force outside of you, but there's a bigger force that's in action right now that's perpetuating what is continuing to go on, for one thing, but it is for a purpose. Because, and I don't know, what it is. Like some of this stuff is so trippy. Like this is something, I didn't see this. Like I knew when I was looking at, like I knew everybody was going to be losing everything. I knew everybody was going to be losing shit. And I knew that there was going to be a lot of people doing themselves in. I knew there was going to be a mass annihilation. I knew all that stuff was coming. I could see that. I could see this darkness ahead. But I couldn't, I didn't, like you don't see all the details. And then, so then when you're going through it, then all of a sudden the details are around you and you start seeing it. And so like, I did not see, I mean, some of the things that kind of just tripped me out so much is the low, how low the standards are, female standards. Well, how low we have set our standards. I mean, seriously, to sit there and think about that's the best we got. And there's people who are pointing out, what was it? It was something with her that was just popping into my mind. But there's a whole bunch of stuff being pointed out with her, like her record, her uh oh, a lot of this stuff too is a lot of videos talking about because everybody's being pretty outraged over it's pretty dark how much cheering goes on to kill your baby, like, and as a survivor from an abortion pill, I'm here to say, like, uh, um, it's those are lessons and stuff. It's you can't really do something that's not meant to happen. So there are lessons and whatnot, but it's like the people don't see the bigger purpose in life. They don't see that there's a reason you're alive. And I mean, it's a very dark energy. And so there's tons of people are just really being like, this is disgusting. I see there's these guys that are going and pretending to be blue, wearing all blue stuff with her support shirts and shit, and going and talking to people in that group and then asking them questions. I think there's not just one person doing that. I think there's a few. There's a lot of people showing this really weird side. And I mean, all the ones I've seen, and people just say the weirdest shit. And then he'll start questioning them to the point where they think they're catching on. And then they won't talk to him. But, and there was one I just saw. He's like, this long crowd, I guess, waiting to get into her rally or something. And he's walking down the thing with him and his friend, and they're all blue. Yay for that procedure. And he's like, does anybody get one today? Come on, yay, and stuff. Because that is how disgusting it is. But then when you have these people pointing out, like, you guys, she cannot do one single fucking thing about that. And you guys think that she can. And why would you want the federal government to be over your rights? And I have actually seen these blue people look at it, though, in a way of like, it's so important that we have the federal government to be over the states because the states try and pull shenanigans and won't let us get these things. It's like, it's not that far a drive. You can go to another state. And there's so much propaganda going. I can't even tell you how many videos I've seen of, oh, so-and-so died because she couldn't get one. There's so many. It's like, oh my God. And so talking about, I'm sitting there tearing up a tissue. Talking about I told you I'm always doing stuff with my hands. I'm tearing at the threads. I'm tearing at tissues. And so she, because the one thing, because what is that she's saying? Okay. She's trying to build up, get us to submit and be in her, because these guys are sitting there trying to talk to these people rationally, and they're like, she's taking your rights away as women. They're not giving you guys gender specific rules or laws or whatever. It's all vague. Like if a guy, you guys don't want a guy in a bathroom, it's not up to you, because then he can call this what is that word they're always using against us? That we are racist, bigots, whatever it is. So discrimination. So everything is discrimination. So everything that we don't allow we're discriminating. And so it's really taking away our rights of us being able to be unified or sovereign as females. And so but see, that's what these blue people do, is like they're trying to strip us of all of our identity and stuff. And yeah, that's probably why they're doing so much with the hormones with the men. They had to get them more docile in order to start stripping stuff away from them. But so all they had to do was get, men on I don't know. Because it's so strange, this thing that's playing out. But the women are doing it to themselves, and then they're picking this like low class lady who's such a fake and a phony to be their role model. Like that's the best we got. And oh yeah, that's one of the things that people keep saying is like, you guys didn't even get to choose her. They chose her for you. That's, it's like, and that's what happened, I just said, in 2016. Like, we were choosing the other guy, and then they said, no, we're choosing this other person. And so they did, I saw right then, they weren't going with what we wanted. We wanted Bernie, and they put in Hillary, which at the time, too, where it was so absurd, because Bernie was running toe-to-toe with him on the size of their rallies. And it was definitely, but see, things have to play out the way they're supposed to play out. So we weren't supposed to go that direction. We were supposed to go this direction, because this direction is the direction of freedom. This is really, we would, under Bernie, we would have still been under their thumb. It would have still been them trying to make laws to pass where there is the illusion of protecting us, when really they're just taking things away from us and making it more, well, yeah, where we're their subjects. And so it is, this guy, though, it's so up in their upside down world where someone tells him that he's a dictator, and he's not at all. And he is just trying to talk common sense, talk sense to people, and get people to think about things. And that is where it takes people in different direction. That's why when people start, having things pointed out to them and seeing the problems, that's why his thing builds up so much. It's because of, he's being honest and truthful and talking about what's real. This other person just talks about fake ass shit, phony shit, just makes shit up. She talks about lies. And they make this purposeful agenda, like we're dealing with Donald's problems. That's the whole, all the problems that we've got in the world is all because of fucking Donald. It's like, what the hell? Are we skipping Joe? And you? What the fuck? So aggravating. So anyways, but one person is trying to tell us the truth, because that person is the one who's trying to pull us into freedom. Oh yeah, and I just saw this guy, and it was an astrologer that I was obviously more not so biased, because he was saying, when he was looking at all of the stuff that Donald is about, he said he's going to win, he's going to win hard, and he's going to be so elevated in which that has been the thing too. He's going to become a global leader when it's already happening. Like, there are so many people, like there was footage of all these people in India, the schools, all the people were praying for him. There was people out in other countries praying for him. Like, he is, because they can recognize that he is trying to bring us into freedom. And so it's, but it's all the souls that can start to recognize, and these ones are just being misled. They're just paying attention to somebody that they trust, and then that's where their trust, everything's going to fall apart so hard for them. And even no matter how much they want to think it's this MAGA cult, but the MAGA is not a cult, it's a movement. It's an awakening. It's a humanity, it's an evolution. It's a movement towards freedom. It's a revival. And that was one thing too, is when I woke up at 10:30, and I looked at the phone and to see what time it was and what was going on. And he was still live at another fucking thing. It was 10:30, and so over there it had to be like 12:30. And he's in Massachusetts. But when I went to that, he was live at 1, and I thought, wow, he's out there talking late. And then he was still at another one. So I'm telling you, he was just all day long going from city to city to city, going and talking and talking and talking to people. And it's the same kind of, talk to everybody. Everybody gets like equal talk. He doesn't like really put in new things, but everybody gets to be in there. But it's, to most people at this point, it's the validation. It's like, and the other people are lying and pretending like shit's not going on. No, he's talking about what's really going on. And they keep making a big thing about Peanut, which I just really hope that Peanut is still alive. Like, they told the guy they couldn't give him the body back because it was beheaded and stuff. So I'm hoping, because it's so horrific and all that stuff, that this is just, a part of the show. But Peanut will be rescued. Miraculously, we found him. They were lying the whole time. Like, I'm hope. So we'll see. Harris County is every fucking day. These these rescues in Harris County are desperate. I mean, the one girl who I see all the time, oh my God, I've got a Kleenex tore up mess. There's one girl I see all the time. She is, you can tell that she's been crying and crying. And she's always going and getting footage of all the dogs and stuff and trying to get, because in order to get them out of the kill shelter, somebody has to adopt them or foster them. And then you have to go and move. It's like the hugest thing. And, so she's trying to get people to get them. And some of them you can't even follow. You have to be local. You have to be able to get down there and get this dog right now. And yesterday she did a video and she was crying again. And she was just outraged. There was several yesterday. And she was kept showing these ones. And she said they don't have any time. They're not giving these dogs any time anymore. By the end of the day, she was showing all these dogs in there with harnesses, collars. There was one that had a little t-shirt on. It was dressed. She said, like, these are not strays. These are people's pets. They are fucking taking people's pets. They are not giving them any time. They are putting them to death immediately. Like, and people don't even know. And it's like, and you think like, well, why would this be happening? It's happening in more of these kill shelter counties. But food, I would imagine, you know. Food, I don't know. It's dark. It's dark. And the people involved, like, I don't know. I can't just say, you know, everybody who's involved in all these horrible crimes that's it. They're out. Because it's like you're going to have to face yourself. You're going to have to face your crimes. You're going to have to face your community. You're going to have to, like, there's a calling. There's a universe is leaving his calling card. It's time to pay the piper. There's no more running and doing whatever you want. Is you know, the energy you put out is coming back on you. And so the people who are doing that, and there's probably some people who are just so desperate for a paycheck and they hate every minute of it, but then it's going to be, then you're going to have to, you know, go in and reevaluate like what you'll do for money, man. So there's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a big one that people are going to be expressing and trying to go through. But I think, and I just, the way these people are being so crazy, I just can't imagine that they're going to stay on social media and talk about it. And however it goes, like, if they do have to put, you know, if they put her in for a minute, you know, there's no way we're going 4 fucking years. There's no fucking way. I mean, we would be so deep into these other people's illusion. I mean, we would all go insane. So I don't think that they're going to take us in that direction. I think this is the snap of reality showing itself, the universe making sure, you know, lights on, and it is like all engines going. Like, I feel so much like we're at this time of like, this is it. And if it's doing like this is like a slow ride in. It's like, fuck, we're just watching this play out, man. This isn't that dramatic. This isn't that big of like, whoa, shocking. But I don't know. Because there can be, because there's a lot of these people who are also asleep. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what is going to be. But if they put her in, it would definitely, I say, be temporary. It would be to like pacify these people and get these people cranked up, and then it would switch. But there's this so Groundhog Day. I cannot believe the same fucking shenanigans just playing out exactly from 2020. It's like, oh my God, this is so aggravating. But it's got so many more people captivated, so many people aware and awake. And it's so weird too, is, you know, so many of them obviously didn't pay any attention when Donald was talking about all the cheating that was going on, because then they're all talking about this stuff like, can you believe it? Pretty sure I can. Yeah, they talked about this. This shit was in court. Like, yeah, this is all played out. Like, it was all real. But the people just, I don't know, it's just so weird to experience, to observe. And then, so so however it's gonna be, there's gonna be some kind of a flipping. Hopefully they just go ahead and smack down, put him in and let them all face the shit. let them all see. And then they're going to start seeing like all the good things he's going to start doing. And that's going to make them feel worse. They're going to feel like, oh my God, like what? I was trying to hold us back from this. Like they're going to have a lot to process through. So I hope that that's the way it goes. I hope it goes like just ma'am, bam, thank you, ma'am, let's go. And he gets in by a huge wave, like he's been out there all fucking night, goddamn, talking to people. And then she's still got troubles with the FCC, and I think SNL has got some problem. Like they've got so many things that there's going to be issues. And then, but we still have Congress has got to be exposing themselves. So we still have these other people who are going to try and keep him from being able to be in there. So I'm still hoping that there's some kind of shenanigans over the next couple, because waiting until January 20th and him, you know, that's when everything's going to change. That's when the money and all that stuff is January 1, they're pulling the FL the floor out of the water, and that's going to be by federal law or something. And then the money thing, there's like a lot of things, and he said it's going to go quick. I'm going to do this stuff fast. And but you know, hopefully we don't have to wait till that. And this 39-day thing, there's supposed to be you know, so that was the thing too. We've got all these space people waiting for their performance. So we've got a lot still going. So no matter what goes over this next couple days, it's just more part of the show. I don't know that it will necessarily be the big thing, because we got still so many things. And like, there's some people saying, yeah, I'm not worried too much about what's going on with the thing today. I'm a lot more concerned about, you know, what's going on with these places. These places are talking about throwing bombs at each other, and that they have every right. Like Vladimir came out and said he's going to use the NUKE. That's it. We're going there, and we have every right to. And it's all, you gotta remember, this is all part of the show, because all those guys that are on the BRICS, they have all signed the peace treaties. This is all a show. So don't get yourself all worked up and like, we're gonna be nuked, we're never gonna get anything good. That's your stuff to work through, because we all have these feelings of like not deserving, like we can't ever have anything good. Nothing good ever happens. You know, we're all in this state of mind. And so that's where your battle is. That's where you fight through that, and to recognize like they can't really NUKES. The biggest thing they can do is EMPs, and then that will be a shakedown, because that frequency is the weapon. And so yeah, it's gonna, and that can put out all of our power. And that can be where, you know, we don't have any navigation, we have no abilities to communicate and stuff. So, you know, we just still don't know what's going to go down. And then we still have all of these weird storm things going, and the mass amount of tornadoes. There's a bunch of earthquakes going over there. There's a bunch of weird smells going in certain places. Like we're right on this, you know, we're right on a precipice of change. So we've got a lot of things up in the air, because all these things are going to change. It's not going to be like this is going to change and then nothing else has to change. Just that. No, everything has to change, and everything is rising up to fall. And so that is where we've got just like things falling all around us energetically. Yeah, we've got the system is falling. And yeah, in the micro macro, I think we will start seeing things falling out of the skies. Maybe the eye is going to be a part of it, like when this frequency thing. Maybe that's going to do that, and that's going to make us see everything that's up there. And all of a sudden, we're going to see like, fuck, we're surrounded, dude. Maybe they're going to start their fight with them, and the two, it'll be a big drama of a battle or something. But we're on the right side, and we're those ones that are fighting on our side are there to protect us. They're not coming here to get us. They're trying to save us from the ones that are already eating us. When they were like in the Twilight Zone thing, it's a cookbook. It's a cookbook. It's like, yeah, we're there. We're in the cookbook. We're already living in that one. They're trying to get us out of that one. We've already gone on that ship. So we're trying to get out of the menu. We're trying to get off the menu. And you know, that's why they're scurrying. They've got, I think, I just can't even imagine with the dog thing. I mean, and it is like she showed all this footage, all these little dogs, and they aren't just little dogs. It was all different sizes, but they all had on leashes, collars, harnesses. There was ones with little clothes on and stuff because it's cold, and some dogs, like, Archie can't stand clothes on. Everything I've put on him, he goes insane. But if I take the clothes off of Max, he goes insane. He gets really upset if I take them off. He loves them. I'm going to have to order another one of those sweaters because I think it needs to get washed sometimes. And, but he wasn't a big fan of the flannel shirt. I could put it back on, to wash this one again. But anyways, that's just a bunch of, life journey stuff. But anyways, the dogs, have different, oh yeah, okay, so yeah. So some of those dogs, yeah, in there with shirts on and stuff like that. Then you think too, those are dogs that somebody really likes. Because I'm sure there's lots of dogs out there who would like to have a sweater on, they're cold, or would like to have a little hug shirt on because they feel anxious and the people don't pay any attention. They don't, just like, God, shut up, dog, what's your problem? And don't realize, like, the dog's got anxiety, it's got needs or whatever. So, but, when these people, but then some of the people just dress them just because they think it looks cute. And so, it's a range of everything. I think that we just have to look at ourselves and why we do the things we do and what we're doing and what's our motivation. Is it for us? Is it for them? What are we doing? And that's, where we learn more about ourselves. But that is the big thing that is going, is these people are about to have this big, hard look at themselves in a very deep way and how they are so off. They're so off, like how they keep looking at this group of people. Like this is, like there's a lot of illusion that's being created. Because there's people who are going and stealing the Donald signs. I said a while ago, there's some kind of manipulation thing going with those signs. And I could tell because as soon as I saw the blue one, it just irked me. I was just like, are these people insane? Like, what is wrong with these people? And then you see another one and it's like, oh my God, are these people insane? What is wrong with these people? Like, Jesus Christ, do you know how to choose a leader? And so anyways, I just seeing that and just the blind alliance or allegiance to a party, and it is it's absurd. But but apparently they're also stealing those other signs. But besides that the people who have those signs, that they get a lot more vandalism. Like I was even thinking, because my flag has been at the end of, well, before it was on my house, then I moved it to the end of my driveway. I don't know, I think a couple years ago. And so it hangs at the end of my driveway, and it's like, well, there's a few people on this street though, and then I know some of the others. Like I think that this is another thing that I think that a lot of these people don't realize is, like, there's a lot of people who are red that you guys have no idea about, and you just focus on the blue ones. And the blue ones start thinking that they are outnumbering the red ones. It's like, no, the red ones are just low key. And you just don't know. But I know, like, but then, this is the kind of weird shit where you have is like the one neighbor guy sitting there telling me, it was such a weird conversation, and it goes into my head so many times. Well, it wasn't much of a conversation. I just said, okay. But it was something like, if I supported the red side, which obviously I've got a flag at the end of my driveway, if I support the red side, that's okay, if I'm not stupid, but probably not gonna marry me. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yes, you think this is going in a different direction than where it's going, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've never even fucking, what? I just am like, oh my God. I just, I don't know, like that goes through my mind so many times. Like, this is so irrational. Like, to, like, and to think, like, that matters. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't, like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm gonna change my mind now. Like, I'm hoping this guy's gonna marry me sometime. So it's like, dude, I don't even know you. What are you talking about? And so it's like, you know, I mean, we're neighbors. Like, hey, how's it going over there? That's it. Like, so I'm not even, you know, I don't even know how it went on that level. And then it was like a thing. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, there was a lot of other things I wanted to say. And I was just like, I want out of this conversation as fast as possible. I was like, okay, got it. And then I think he said another thing. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. And if you're trying to get me to say who I support or whatever, I support freedom. I support freedom and everybody who stands for it. The people who say, you know, sovereignty and abundance and freedom, that's my deal. So yeah, I support it. And you guys want to have gender identity, I don't even know, because it's like they're stripping them away from all that they are. They want to, yeah, it is kind of like her bullshit with her chameleon thing with the culture and her trying to, you know, well, I'm black here, I'm Indian here, I'm this, I'm that, you know, just all over the place, using her tone or something, is that is kind of taking away from culture and stuff. Like, if she would have been, you know, just really focused on her birth identity and representing her culture, but she just switches around so much, which kind of drains out your culture. So this is another thing, how they're just trying to strip us of it. But see how they do it is just, you know, go in and play these different parts and stuff. Just play these different roles or something. Pretend you're this and then you're that. It's like, that is an illusion. That is a delusional. And they all do it. They all accept it. It's like a part of their thing. And like this was so strange. One of these people who were out talking to these people, oh, who you voting for? And then they're like, oh, come on, there she is. And they definitely look stereotypical of progressives. And so starts asking them some about their pronouns or whatever. I don't know. And so they start saying all this weird shit. Well, I like to be referred to as a him, his, it, they, or some. And then there's so many of these words. I'm a masked, non-masked, non-binary, true to, like, all this stuff. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like, who is the one who's coming up with all these things? And I don't know, how can you be a masked and unmasked as a masked binary? Like, it is so weird. And then, so a mask is a masculine, I guess, because that's what the reporter guy said. So is that a masculine? Like, it's like, what is this language you speak? I'm not privy. And so she's, they, whatever, is talking about all this business. Looks like just a young girl. Just looks like a young girl with short hair. She's got makeup on, got a dress on, and all that. But she's a masculine, non-binary, non-masking, like a masculine that's non-masking. Oh, okay, so that's a feminine. Like, oh God, I don't mean to be mean. I really don't. It just is like, you know, it's hard to talk about a delusion when it's, you know, it's like, it's crazy. And that's literally what she's saying. And then the other one starts going in on their business too. So they both say they're masculine. They're masculines, but feminine presenting trans people. So they both claim to be trans. But I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know. Like they've got these people so turned up and so lost and so stripped. Like I saw somebody talking about like, just refer to me as it. That's all. I'm an it. It's like you don't even give yourself the identity of being anything. You're a nothing. You're just an it. Like that is an important thing of like why you've got to go in and find yourself. So you can stop being an it. You can go in and find your purpose. Find things that you're good at. Find, because then you're this, then you're that. I'm a good cook. I'm a kind friend. I'm a hard worker. Whatever you are, you start to self-identify as the things that you present yourself to be, not just so hyper-focused on this gender dysphoria. It's gender misphoria. It's missing in action. It's missed out. It's missing. Like they're totally, like it's all fucked up. And then the thing that gets me is there's an agenda behind it. That's where it starts really getting dark, because the agenda behind it is the transhumanism agenda, and it's all this group of people that starts with W, and that they are also they're they're all into this. And even Gator coming out and saying, oh, well, we need to start a new religion. It's science, technology, religion and stuff. I'm like, you've already got those people on it. You can focus on them. The rest of us are go to, creation and, the universe and what's real. You guys can keep on focusing over here like you're trying to go against everything and trying to control it and trying to create your own little creepy ass world. But their world is still breaking apart. Like their time is still up. Most of those people, I think, are so arrested. See, this is one of those things, too, where, like I've said, like all of a sudden I'll get these weird smells, these weird, like all of a sudden I feel like I'm at a pizza place having this sausage pizza as a child at Shakey's. And it's like I can smell it. It's like I can taste it. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, how is that all of a sudden come pop into my head? See how random it is? It's so random. It has, like, what the fuck? I'm talking about something else, and all of a sudden it's like, there's a part of me that's over at Shakey's, I guess, having pizza. I don't know. It's weird. So, anyways, the people, there's like a whole section of people who are just super, super lost and misinformed, and they're all looking in the wrong direction. They're all looking over here when they need to be looking over there. But every time they look over there, they just get all upset and stuff because they've got this created sickness, this TDS that was created, that is all these trigger words to get you to hate this person. But see, that's a big thing, is like when you realize that. And I see it like that, micro, macro, because before, as a group, the people were able to be controlled and be able to go. But see, this is like that energy going out from the people, because it still is these people being directed towards this hate, like what happened before, where there has been these severe, like these people are garbage. Those people are trash. Those people are sick. We need to be rid of those people. They've done that so many times. And these people who are the most fearful of the FAS, those people are the ones that are like, come on, guys, let's do this. Like, they are the FAS, that, founders. And so those people are what they fear. And so they are the ones that are so divisive. They're the ones that are constantly like, they think that these people are going to, some of the videos are just weird, man. Like people going up to people and getting so mad at them because they're going to choose that guy. And it's strange. So anyways, the people on the blue side, that they think that this huge amount of people that just keeps growing and growing and growing. That was another thing that I saw last night, that I was just like, oh my God, this is so crazy. I've never seen this before in my life. Never. of every election. I've never, ever seen anything like this. So he was out there at all these different ones all day, which I've been saying for days or weeks or something. It's all day long. He just goes from one to the next. And so then like 10:30 at night, he was still going. But which I assume, I don't know, I mean, maybe they're getting things and replaying them somehow on these stations. I don't know, and pretending it's live. I'm not sure. But that would be a part of the illusion. But anyways, so he is, but the thing that was, I couldn't believe was, so those are his rally things, but those were everywhere in the streets. There was huge. I saw in Philly, there was a huge one. I don't even know where all these ones were, but they were all like, all these people in the street celebrate, all with their things on the sides of the roads. The roads were going way down. It's huge crowds, all out there, honking, waving their flags, like celebrating, dancing, just so excited for, change and for what's to come and stuff. Because, we do have, it's our birthright, what's coming. And so it's not something, but it's a rocky path to get there. And we just don't know, that's where we have to learn how to trust and go with the flow. So, but all these people are celebrating and, for just because, and they're all over the place, huge amounts. Like after you see a football game or something and everybody's out there celebrating for their team. And so everybody's just pumped, man. I have never seen that before, one of these things. Never have I seen people so pumped up for their person that they're out in the streets partying and exciting and telling people he's out there talking all night and stuff. Like the energy and how these people are so blind to that energy. Like why can't they see that this energy is such a positive, is such an excitement to see all these people out there just coming together and all different cultures, different nationalities, different colors, different ethnic, like everything. Like it's not just a matching people. It's not just one group where they keep wanting to say it's these Christians, it's these rednecks. First, they kept on saying it was all these extremist, radical, racist guys. Then it was, they've gone a little bit off that, but basically, it's all these garbage people that don't care about anybody. But you go to their group and it's like, it's everybody. So it's lies, but see, you have to be able to go to the group. You have to be able to see. And that's one thing that I've seen a lot of that's really cool is people deciding to go to both. They've gone to both rallies to see. And all the people are always like, it's such a different energy. It's so different. And the red one is all inclusive. Everybody's just up, dancing, excited. Everybody's hugging everybody. Everybody's just happy. And that's what you see on the streets. And then you have this other side that's angry and bitter. They're masked, unmasked, femme gods. Like, oh, God, how do you even, like, I have to pull out a thing. Okay, I'm this, like, how do you even come up with all this stuff? Like, who's coming up with all these rules and labels and stuff for y'all? And why do you all just keep on, like, why is that so much simpler than just, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I'm kind of a boyish girl. I'm kind of a girly girl, kind of boyish girl. I'm kind of like, I'm not really too into boys or girls. I'm just kind of into myself. Like, it's like, you're just you. You're just who you are. And you don't have to identify yourself by all these weird labels and restrict yourself from being you. And identify yourself as being all of these things. It's like a schism, or something pulling you away from who you really are. It's like it's pulling, it is it's a center that pulls you from your center. So it's a focus, but it pulls you out of balance. So it's a focus, but it pulls you so into one side of yourself instead of being, both sides and balancing both sides of yourself. And even in that is like a restriction of a side. It's like, You know, I swear to God, now that I think about what she was literally saying that she is a boyish girl that looks like a girl, but she still feels boyish, I think. But like I said, I'm not an expert on this language. It's like a whole new, like, these words that they talk. And maybe that's the stuff they're teaching them in school. They're not going to teach them how to do, handwriting anymore, or some of the other skills that they could use. Like, we're not going to spend time reading. Let's just talk about gender identity and how to figure your gender specific, the rules or the labels or whatever. And I saw this doctor. That is a video I saw this morning though, because I was I don't know, as soon as I got up, I just started fucking doing videos on TikTok. And so I was downloading, I saw this doctor, but I haven't gone on yet to check and see what's up. I did at 10:30 at night last night, but this doctor I just saw, and he was like, if they, as soon as Donald gets in, they need to make mass arrest. He said all the medical needs to be arrested. He's a doctor, and he said all the ones that are in any of them that are included in any of this gender shit has got to go. He said a lot of things way more specific, and talking about it, because it is it's bad. Like, they should not be doing this. And these people who are doing it for whatever, and as a script, a narrative, for money, and they are destroying kids' health and stuff. And it's super, it's just bad. So this doctor is calling, and he wants all these doctors. He wants the endocrinologists, the internists, the surgeons, the psychiatrists, so even social, everyone involved in this gender war thing, that they all need to go. And so there is, I'm telling you, that is just like a leak out. Oh yeah, and all of a sudden, which I don't know if there was a tweet or something that came out and said WikiLeaks, because Assange is out, and that they just released everything. And so everything is out there. All of everything is out. And so, and that is also, when everything is being released and nothing is being restricted, that shows too that which side's in control. The more information that keeps coming out. And I swear to God, I really, really think, yesterday when I kept seeing him and he's in his red tie up there just talking on that podium, I was like, I swear to God, this is him, like giving them the finger. Like, yeah, I'm wearing this red tie, motherfuckers, and I'm out here just talking my ass off. Because red tie was a very specific signature when they would do somebody in. And I don't know, there's just a whole lot of done-ins with red ties hanging on doorknobs and shit. And I think it's not by any accident, because why wouldn't he, for what he represents, why wouldn't he always be wearing a flag tie or something? Why wouldn't he be making that, like, but he does wear like gold but there's signs, and then when you start realizing, like, oh, he's wearing the gold one and the bricks guys behind him and stuff like that, then it's like he's showing, when you start reading the signs of life. And but I swear to God, when he did that red one, it's like, yeah, you guys want to get me, and here I am. And it's like a snub in their face or something. But I think that so many of them are gone. I think so many of these people are already handled or taken care of. I really think that so much of this is about the big show. And that is why we have so many, obvious clones and masks and stuff. What was this one? Oh, yeah, on Saturday Night Live. Like, Kamala was having mask malfunctions. Like, she had one eye that was like this weird, like one eye was like this, like a mask going where, and oh, who was that guy? Tyler. He's that black guy who he always does like religious movies and stuff. He was Medea. I can't think of his whole name, but anyways, there's a picture of him that shows him standing where it's so obvious it's a mask. Like, you can see totally. And I think, I don't know, I think that guy was involved with some stuff because, I don't remember, it's just some stuff I heard. But I don't remember. There's so much stuff, like, when it's been this long, there's so many things that you hear over the time. Oh, yeah, what was that? Oh, yeah, because they've got now more coming out, like, that the C word is, parasite, that's it. And that you gotta do these cleanses. That's all over the place now, too. And so that's just gonna keep going and going and going. So we're going into whole new things about our health. I mean, just that right there. Like all the stuff that they've done to destroy our health and how simple it's really been. And so it's going to go in that direction. And it's just like everything coming up to the surface about that. There was another thing too, was what was that? That was um, the, man, something just goes out and it just goes away. Um, I can't think of it. Let's see, was there anything else? Was there some other stuff that was way more people? Like, it's not by accident the people that they're having come out to support them. It's all, you know, Diddy's friends and stuff like that. Because then it gets all these people. There's all these people like, oh, so you couldn't warn us about him, but now you're going to come in here and tell us that Trump's so bad that you got to go with this lady and stuff. So all of those things, people are being called out for their ridiculousness, their absurdness. And then there's so many people, because before people would listen to what celebrities would say, but now there's too much resistance. There's still a group of people that listen, but they're going to be led right off. They're going to see, like, these people were the ones trying to take you off the cliff with them, or just push you off in front of them, you know, in certain cases, because there's a lot of that. And it was weird too, because yesterday, because there's a few things. For one thing, that Demi Moore is in this movie called The Substance now, where there are some people, like, I guess, apparently at the movie thing, some people are walking out. It's so disturbing. But I just feel like it's kind of a disclosure thing over, you know, Chrome. So I was like, I already know about it. And, so she's in this big movie that is like a disclosure kind of movie. And then there's all this weird stuff about her and her aging or not aging or whatever. And then there was a whole thing about the abuse that she went through as a child. Like her mom would use her and sell her to men, because the mom would use her to get attention and sell her to men for money and stuff. And her mom, how abusive, and her mom, and she broke ties with her mom at some point in her career. And then I think her mom died. I think she has a whole thing about like her forgiveness and stuff. But so that, and then at the same time, you have these videos coming out about her, like the stuff that she's done. And then it's also another one that keeps being way out there is Ashton. He's being really tossed around up there too. And so there's gonna be a lot of, and those two were together for a while. And this whole thing with Bruce and the neurological thing, there's a lot of links about this thing with all these people getting these neurological things. That is it's a lack of Chrome, you know, it's a lack of, it's kind of like when they put our bodies out of whack by making us rely on something like a pill instead of us healing whatever we need to heal, and then it puts everything out of whack. So I think that is kind of like with these people, instead of relying on like minerals and taking care of themselves to not age, instead to go use somebody else's energy or somebody else's life, like their life essence, their, you know, blood. So taking their stuff, and then especially because in order for it to be even better, it's got to have a supercharge of the, you know, of hormones such as adrenaline. And so then it is supercharged with this, in this stuff. And so when they take that, I think it throws things out of whack in their things, because there's some different things that they get. There's also this KURI, I think it's 2 times said, There's what was that? Because I was just, oh, yeah. There was this guy who was talking to this tribe guy. I don't know where he was. I would guess it would be like in the Amazon or something. And so he's talking to this tribe, this guy, and they're sitting on the side of this boat, or sitting on the side of the shore. And the interviewer guy is saying, talking to him about the CNN being like that word, the thing that we're all just like, oh, no. And so they're on their island. There's not a lot to eat or something, I guess. I'm not sure. Because he says, well, what do you guys eat? And it was like, oh, we eat people. And then, so the conversation is about that. And so the questioner is asking him a lot of questions about it. And he said that they just have bodies that float up all the time. And so they just eat them. And it doesn't have to be cooked or anything. They just eat it, whatever. I mean, raw, eat it cooked. They eat people all the time. And he didn't have any neurological deficit. I mean, I don't know. But that supposedly leads to that if you do that consumption. And then the guy was asking him a lot of things. Is like, we said what it tastes like is salt. So it's very salty is the only thing I know. But they're also pulling them out of the ocean. So anyways, I don't know. To me, it's like there's a deeper disturbing thing, because it's just like it's this. I swear to God, there is something about mankind pulling free from this primitiveness. There's a primitiveness. There's a confirmation. There's this battle amongst man itself, this consumption of man itself, this disregard, disrespect from man to man. And so that is this evolution is pulling us away from a lot of this stuff, because that's how I look at religion too. It's so primitive. There's so many things that are so primitive. Even when I hear these people that just keep talking about life in this specific realm of just devils and angels. We've just got devils and angels, and I don't know. There's just such a primitive way that people accept or understand this place. And it goes way more into deeper concepts and stuff when you have to start going more into this virtual reality, this holographic, that you're not real even though you think you're real, but there's a real part of you, but it doesn't exist here. And there's a lot of things, for people, because they're so wrapped up and trapped in the thing of realness. And it's weird because the realness isn't real. That was like a picture inside of a picture inside of a picture, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's just a lot. And so, I want to really be specific over the people who are so lost right now. I'm not trying to be mean or anything about them, because I know they're really lost. It's very strange to watch and trying to understand how can they look at this stuff this way. And then it's especially hard to have compassion and empathy with their hatefulness and their disdain for so many other people. And so and they're just lost, like, god damn, there's a lot. And so, but I do know that they really are, programmed, and they really are going to go through a lot of pain when they realize what is happening, and that they've been tricked and lied to and used and abused, and then how much they've dug into the storylines, and now how they have to backpedal out of them. And that's where you have to humble yourself, to be like, oh, well, yeah, I thought this was the right thing, but now I see more to it. I gotta let it go. I need to get out of this fucking shit. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of gender backpedaling. There's going to be a lot of, transitioning, backpedaling There's going to be a lot of, just wanting to find yourself. This is one thing too that I had noticed. What was that? Because it was like things that I hated about myself when I was younger. I couldn't stand. There was like a lot. There was a lot of things I did not like about myself. I did not like my flat chest. I did not um like my nose. There was so many things. I didn't like my eyebrows. They were too expressive. There was a lot of things that I didn't like about myself. And then but as time goes on and you learn to love yourself, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I love this about myself. I love this. Like I fucking love my flat chest. God dang, I can't believe how much especially I'm glad that I got to have the experience of what the other was. And I'm glad that I got to get away from the experience. I'm glad I got to get, have it and get rid of it, because it did show me a lot. It showed me a lot about insecurities, showed me a lot about pastures not being greener, it showed a lot about doctors do what they want. It showed, there was so many lessons, so many things I learned in it. But I'm just so thankful to have the body back that I have. And then, but there are so many things that I have been noticing. Even my eyesight's all coming back. Like everything starts getting better. And I know what it comes from. It comes from healing and taking care of myself. It comes from choosing a healthy lifestyle, and then to be more direct about making sure that I'm taking in minerals, which also, by the way, some of my symptoms, I had seen a thing had popped up talking about vitamin D deficiency and what it causes. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not really getting any sun. Like these little lights, that's probably not doing the trick. So I ordered some of that. It should be here tomorrow. So I'm going to start taking that and I'll see how that works. And another one too, if you're having a lot of things, is B12. There's a lot of people have like weird things, and it's a deficiency in that. And so, which I'll probably get that next after. I had those things, and then it was going through the phase of like, oh my God, they're interfering with everything. And there's a whole thing about that coming out now, because yeah, where I've been talking about the nanos for so long is like, yeah, they're putting them in all the food and stuff. They're trying to create something to be inside of us that they can control inside of us. So you would be a battle with yourself, which I think that we probably have some of that playing out. That probably has to do with some of this annihilation going on and stuff. Some of the things that are happening in the world around us are probably being controlled or manufactured, moved like by the puppet masters. So there's a lot. There's just so much going on. And everything is about, minding yourself, getting yourself, like, so that they can't do it to you. Get yourself with it. Like, yeah, paying attention to not be just lost in their games, lost in their fucking, because that's when they trap you. Yeah, it's like the fishing, like when they do the netting and they trap like a whole school of fish. Yeah, you got to be the fish that's swimming out behind, like watching and stuff. Don't get caught in their traps. And so, because this is an evolution of self, and it is of mankind, but it's each of us. It's not like mankind doing it and then each of us. No, it's us doing it and creating it for mankind. So it's each of us evolving ourselves, and that is what makes the shift for mankind. So we are all play a big role here. And then some of the people, they don't know their roles yet, but that doesn't mean their roles aren't significant, because these are very significant. To watch these people be this lost and this mind trapped and this in their ego and stuff, like, it's crazy. The stuff that to be witnessing this is like, it's so irrational. It's so like, how can this even be? How can this be a thing? And when they were talking so much about the two realities splitting, yeah, it's trippy, man, because we are in this one reality, but the reality, this is where you got to keep reminding yourself, is that as long as you keep a clear view, you're paying attention, you're looking at all the things, you're not hiding. They are all hiding from things and they're being misled. And so that is where the universe is going to pop off, because it doesn't want us to live like that. So it's going to seem really harsh and hard because of what they have to face. But the things that they have to face are the things that are internal. They need them to come to the surface so that they can express them. They can get them out of them. And so it's going to seem super harsh. But really, it's a gift from the universe. All this stuff to be changing, all this stuff to be popping off and blowing up in our faces and stuff. And I do think that we do need to remember that we can live through this. We're fine. And yeah, we're going to feel some pain. We're going to be injured. We're going to have some shit. But that is the challenges of what this time experience is. But we will get through it. And then once we get through it, and there's going to be a blast off, man. There is this quantum leap coming, just like how there was the Homo sapiens sapien and the missing link. There was a big jump in time, that we're going to have another big jump in time where there's not going to be all these things that linked it. It's going to be like we're here and then we're there. And it's because the repression, they've repressed so many things, and we've been back here. They've kept us like in the Flintstones while they're going to be in the Jetsons. So they've repressed us, and then we're going to just jump over all of that. But there's still going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of lessons, a lot of things, and we just got to watch. We just got to see how it plays out. Just keep going with the flow. And yeah, it's really hard. But I also think that when you are able to look at yourself and think, like, am I seeing it all? Am I paying attention? Am I the one who's lost? Am I the one? And then, and then noticing the numbers, like the numbers on one side keeps growing. And there's people every day leaving this color to go to this color because this color is rational. And they've realized that this color is trying to lead them off a fucking dark, and where they want to lead them is dark. I mean, 100% dark, and I've explained where it is that they want to lead us. It's just more control, more of us not getting our own lives, more of us not getting to live the way we want to live, and it being under their thumb and under their control, and what they say goes. And even with our language, like yesterday, I was saying something to one of the dogs, telling him his little tardo or something. I was thinking, it's so weird how, like, that word has become so, like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. And but being in a time when we were raised, like, that word was just used regularly, like that was just a word in our fucking language. And then all of a sudden they're like, that word's bad, you're all bad, don't use that word anymore. It's like that. It's weird. It's just so much fucking control. Just like how she's been out there ranting and raving, we will never say Merry Christmas again, or some bullshit. It's like, it's just so absurd. We can say whatever the fuck we want to say. And then we can be held responsible. Like, if we offend somebody, then it's like, oh, how did I offend you? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Like, maybe that's a conversation that needs to be happening. Not them just telling us how we need to talk to each other, because then we get all these prickly people who think like every single thing you do or say that hurts their feelings is against the rules. It's like, no, fucking step up your feelings. Quit letting everybody hurt your feelings. And the only way to stop doing that is to heal yourself. You're obviously feel that about yourself. So that is the issue. You feel like shit about yourself. And so then you're looking for everybody to give you that feedback. So you feed off of people not liking. And then so many people go out and set it up. They become unlikable to feed their own stories. So anyways, there's just a lot of people, there's a lot of toxic behaviors, a lot of toxic patterns, a lot of lost people. But this is where the universe is like cleaning up the mess. It's like, and so, yeah, I don't know what's going to go today, but it could be today, more of the celebrating and people out in the streets, we're winning, this is it, we're going to finally get freedom, and all of that, while the other people are just building steam and thinking these people are crazy. Like, I don't know. I would think tonight is going to probably be crazy in some places. And they could do their bullshit of like, well, it's too close to call. We're not gonna be able to say tonight, and drag it out. And then once they get and they say, okay, like but the Congress is gonna step in and say, well, no, he's a criminal. We're not allowing this. We're here for you people. We're not allowing this. It's like, you guys start noticing how many people are on this side. Like, how the crowd you're talking to is a little bigger than I think that you want to lie to at this point. So shut the fuck up. Take your fucking bullshit and shut the fuck up. Oh my God, I've already been talking 2 hours, so I'm on a rant. I'm on a rant today. So anyways, just be prepared for anything. Have your stuff together, And last night when the power went out, I was like, fuck, is it going to come back on? Is this it? And it was so dark. Oh my God, Stella was crying. I had to get up, get the flashlight. And anyways, just be ready, because anything can go at any time. Like, fuck, I was not expecting all of a sudden the power to go out, and I wasn't expecting the door to slam. Like, anything can go at any time. And so just be prepared, because that's the time we're in, is the time of change. And so, I mean, it's going to affect us all in all different ways, and we're all here for it. We're all prepared for it, but it's still scary coming in. And so, whatever's going to go down, and it can keep dragging. So don't get all built up of like, oh my God, because they can drag this out. For all we know, they're going to fucking drag this out until fucking mid-February. We're not letting him in. And him rallying the crowds, more people getting in. Like, I don't know. Like, because we've already got, Vladimir, like, there's so much going with the money and stuff. There's just so much going. So just go with the flow, and remember what you're doing here. Working on yourself, learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it is up to you. So I'll talk to you later. And I didn't come yesterday. I was busy all day long. So we'll see how the day goes, but I'll talk to you later. Bye.